Please let it be here. Please let it be here. Getting a new deck is so exciting. Whether this is your first deck or your 50th deck, I have some things I just want to say, don't. Just don't do it. So before you tear open that box, shuffle that deck, and do that first reading, I've got 7 don'ts that will lead you to 7 do's that will make your relationship with your tarot deck that much better. Before we get into it, let's make some tea and head out to my spirit room. So once you get home and comfortable, the first thing is don't forget to cleanse your deck. Yeah, don't forget to cleanse your deck. And I mean the whole thing. Your deck has traveled far to be with you. It's been with who knows who and who knows where, filled with all sorts of nasty energies, and you really don't want that in your deck. Start off with smudging your deck. Pass it through the smoke, pass the box through the smoke. Yes, pass the book through the smoke and the deck to fully cleanse it. Fun fact, the word smudge actually comes from Europe, so it's not a Native American term. It has to do with passing things through smoke in order to purify. And you can use whatever you want. I'm using ethically harvested Palo Santo, but you can use incense. Maybe some of you have herbal blends or sticks that you've made on your own. Choose whatever you feel most comfortable with. You can cleanse your deck with sound. Maybe you've got a favorite song or some kind of chant that you like. Maybe you want to use singing bowls. Maybe your decks want to hang out with your crystals and get rid of all that residual energy. And some of you are going to be most comfortable with prayer or energy work over your cards. And if you feel like there's a ton of funk on your cards, maybe you want to do all of the aforementioned. Whether you're new to reading cards or you're old, I can't stress this enough. Don't do anything until you cleanse the energy of your deck. Next up on my list, and some of you are really going to disagree with me on this one, see this nice shiny book calling your name? Don't read it. Don't read the book. Listen to me on this one. Take that book right now before you're tempted, walk over to your bookcase and file it away. Your first impressions of the deck should be your own. By reading the book and what the author has to say about the cards, you kind of enter into their world. And the point of any deck, oracle or tarot, is to really enter into your world, to open yourself up to your intuition and learn to trust that more and more. I really believe, even for you beginners out there, put the book aside. I know how tempting it is as a beginner to just not trust yourself. Especially with the tarot, it can be really overwhelming. But giving yourself some space to just grow into the cards themselves and develop just a little bit of relationship goes a long way in the long run. Not only that, some books are just crap. I mean it. I'm sorry to say. This book actually, really good book. But some books are just awful. They're little white books. They don't say anything new or inventive. Or sometimes I find the things in books are just plain off or weird and don't vibe with me. So give yourself some space. How many of you out there have gotten a really junky book and said, like, this is just not worth it? Maybe the deck is fabulous and the way it speaks to you without the book is amazing. But once you get into the book, you're just like, no. Next up on my list is don't rush. That's right, don't rush it with the cards. No need to flip through the cards rapidly. I mean, you only get one first kiss, one first moment, right? Firsts only come one time, so don't rush through the deck. And I know what you're thinking. I do. I know what you're thinking. Pish posh, April. Aren't you being dramatic? And the answer is absolutely yes, I am being dramatic. And why am I being dramatic? Because let's face it, life is just boring. Boring without drama. And I'm not talking about this kind of drama. I'm talking about the kind of drama that takes your breath away, the kind of drama that takes you into the other world, the kind of drama that sparks the magic within you. You want to cultivate that as much as possible. This is about getting to know yourself intuitively and tapping into that other world, that liminal place. So yes, it is romantic. give yourself some time to go through each card slowly. You know, sometimes I spend 2 days or 3 even going back to the deck and just slowly going through each card, looking at them, looking for clues, looking for first impressions, and having that special moment, you know. Okay, no, that actually never happens. Not like that. But how many of you have had that moment with a deck where you just think, wow, this card is amazing. This creator really gets this. It's like I'm seeing it for the first time. This is especially with tarot. I love seeing all the different ways that different creators bring to life this very old system of cards. And the other side of it is too, that sometimes I see cards and I think, what is that? Maybe they kind of missed it, or I'm mystified by it. And that's good because it means I have something to learn from this creator. As a matter of fact, I believe every deck teaches me something new. And every creator has a different take that can take me to a new place, going deeper with myself if I'm open to receiving the teaching that's available to me. So don't rush. Take your time with the deck. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. This is your life, this is your romance, this is your oracle, this is your intuition online. Let's head inside, get a tea refill for me, and if you haven't been drinking yours, do so or it's going to get cold. All right, now you've put the book away, you've cleansed the deck, and you've introduced yourself. Don't forget to charge the deck with your energy. Yeah, just a little interruption here. Constant. Does anybody else live with like Wild Kingdom constantly interrupting you? You can wrap your deck up in an altar cloth or a special anointed cloth that you have and stick it under your pillow. Dream with it for a night and then take it for a spin. If you don't want to do all that, hey, just stick it next to your bed and sleep there for a night. Let it kind of mingle with your own energies. If those are a little bit too involved, I mean, after all, I get between 1 and 5 decks a month. Don't judge me, you could find yourself here soon enough. Depending, okay, I maybe have a problem. So sometimes I just leave it on my personal altar and let it mingle with my altar energies. If your space is safe enough, and by that I mean you don't have like little hands or even big hands from spouses that are going to be pawing all over it, then you can just leave it out in a personal space and let it enjoy mingling and being a part of your household. Last but certainly not least is you can take it out and dance naked under the full moon with it. Don't worry, there's no B-roll for that one. Next on my list, don't forget to dedicate your deck. Okay, maybe this is more of a do and you could if you wanted to, but this is really fun and adds a lot of meaning and purpose. This is for newbies and for those of you who have lots of decks. You can dedicate your deck through ceremony. So some of you will take time to dedicate your deck through ceremony. Let me know down below if you want a video on that one there. It's really cool to take the time to dedicate your deck to a certain purpose. So I have specific relationship decks and that's all I use it for. They're just dedicated for that. I have my like hard truths deck, like dedicated to like when I need a kick in the pants, that's the deck that I go to. How many of you could use a kick in the pants from time to time? If you're a professional tarot reader or if you read for friends, I personally have a deck that's dedicated for just me. I don't use it for my paid readings and it's really a special deck that speaks to me and there's just no other energy on there at all, just mine. Even if you're new to this, dedicating your oracle or your tarot deck with your intent to keep it sacred is something that I think is very important. It sets a mindset and it creates a relationship with your intuitive self that I think is really profound and worth doing. Second to last on my list is don't forget to give it a little something special. So give it a bag. I like to shop around for bags and some of you can even find time or if you're crafty to make your own bags. After you've gotten to know your deck a bit, it's just really nice to have it in something that you love to grab. And I think that's part of creating that relationship with your deck. Wanting to be with it, wanting to spend time with it. I have a link down below to some of the bags that you've seen on the screen. Some of them I've handmade myself, so they're not there. And of course, those are affiliate links. I will make a little something off of that, but it won't cost you any more. Last, but certainly not least, don't forget to do a powerful first read. So what do I mean by that? Well, you're doing your first shuffle and you want to get a powerful read, the first card that you ever draw, to be something that really sticks with you. Here's some ideas for those first card draws. What card is my power card? Every time you draw that card, your power card, you know that the reading that you're reading in is very powerful and your deck wants you to pay attention. How about, what do you want to teach me about the tarot or this deck? I like this one because it gets me thinking about what I'm going to be learning as I use this specific deck. There are other questions like, what card is a warning card to me when I see it in this deck? What lesson do I most need to learn right now at this point in my life? How can I improve my relationships? Get creative and make it powerful. That powerful first question. There's only one first time, right? Get into it. I read. Yep. Really? Why, Hagrid? Why? Okay, there's just no getting around it. He's just gonna keep running around. All right, and if you enjoyed this video, you may want to give it a thumbs up down below. And you may want to check out these videos over here or my other channel over here where I read tarot. Until we meet again, happy reading.